Break one. This is Short Pants Free Radio. Gamers, get your ears on because we're blowing the speakers out.
Grimdark Live. It is time for Grimdark Live. This show is for the nerds, the outcasts, the weirdos.
And for short pants gamers?
No, not you.
Ah, crap.
Get ready, all you Grimdark goons, for dice, dragons, demons, and a dwarf. Only right here on Grimdark Live.
Let's get the effing show started.
Hey, welcome to Grimdark Live, your weekly webcast for all things Dice, Dragons, Demons, and a Dwarf. You got me, man. This is Patrick here today. Guys, I want to wish you all a very, very, very happy Thanksgiving. And as you know, this is going to be one of our look-back shows because we're going to be taking the day off to be with our family. And this is a good look-back show. We are going to be looking back to November 15th of 2018, and this is kind of a neat show, kind of a throwback show that has a lot of interesting topics. You know, we're going to be talking about Underworlds. We're going to be talking about events, whether or not you should be the volunteer or get paid. That was a pretty interesting topic. You're going to want to listen to that one. And we also talked about to play the meta or not to play the meta, you know, as far as an army is concerned. Good topic there. And we had a great guest with us. We had Al Roscoe all the way from the UK. He was our Grimdark Live UK correspondent, and so he's actually with us on this show. So it's a great episode, and it's a good way to kind of just sit there and, you know, either chew on a dead bird with your family or, you know, paint your models and kind of listen to Grimdark Live. So wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving, and hope you guys have a good one. And even if you're not in the United States practicing Thanksgiving, I hope you guys get out there and enjoy it. So happy Thanksgiving, and hope you enjoy the throwback show. Thanks.
Wait a minute. There's something wrong here. What is happening?
Get ready, Grimdark goons, to time travel back in time to a Grimdark Live show segment from the past.
The past?
A segment from a show back in time. Get ready, Grimdark goons. Here we go.
Hey, welcome to Grimdark Live, your weekly webcast for all things Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar. I'm your host, Patrick, and as always, my co-host, Sean, Gary, and not Randy. He's up there twisting wire nuts, working pretty hard somewhere in Wisconsin. But we got Al Roscoe. We got our UK correspondent for Grimdark Live with us. So, fellas, what do you hear? What do you say?
We got some We got some news going on today when they're actually giving out a banned and restricted list for Underworlds.
Interesting. So say that one more time. They're right. Say that again. They're doing what?
They have a banned and restricted list on the cards that Night Warhammer Underworlds.
Okay.
So I'll be talking about that a little bit.
All right. Sounds good.
And when you run an event, are you volunteering or are you getting paid? We'll talk about that after the news.
That's it.
That conversation is going to make me very happy or very angry.
Yeah.
Well, you know. We'll see what happens.
That's it. Gary, what do you got, bud?
I got, should you play the meta list or should you not play the meta list? In other words, to meta or not to meta. And if you don't know what that means, I'll explain it to you.
There you go, man.
A couple hours, but I'll do it. So
there you go. Roscoe, what do we got, bud? All the way from the UK. What do we got?
From the UK, I'm going to be talking about Blackstone Fortress, which is the new 40k Warhammer quest.
I'll tell you what, that is going to be... You know what is funny is with the pantheon of box games that they're coming out with, you know, it almost seemed like a blur, you know, one box game, you know, blurring into the next. But this one, I'll tell you what, this one actually is pretty captivating. I could actually, I could actually shock the hell out of Gary right now and actually start playing 40K.
Stop it. We'll end the show right now.
I'm just being a tease, but yes, we got some really good topics. And myself, I'm going to be I'm going to be kind of touching on kind of the state of the tournament season. We got one of the larger tournaments, they say, on the planet coming up right around the corner here at Adepticon. We got some great tournaments coming up ahead of that one, but I kind of want to talk about some of the viability of some of these tournaments and then kind of what to expect when you go to them, and kind of touch on interesting little General's Handbook 2019. We've got Games Workshop being very fan friendly these days, and reaching out and seeing if they can get some feedback from the community, which either could be a real good thing or a real bad thing, I would suppose. And of course, we got the rumor engine and the question of the day. So, and hey, if you guys are new to the Grimdark Live experience and new to our YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button, which is also the Grimdark skull icon you'll notice in the bottom right hand, and for reminders on all of our upcoming and past shows. And you can also learn more about the Grimdark Live experience by going to our website at www.grimdarklive.com, where we have all of our War Meet calendar updates, upcoming tournaments, and some other good Grimdark stuff we have to offer. And as always, Grimdark Live is recorded before a live listening audience and placed on YouTube and podcast and further type media files for your additional listening preference. So check out grimdarklive.com for more access to that and a lot more. But the show, let's get rolling here. I know that we're kind of coming off of a topic we had last week, so we're going to kind of switch gears here and kind of get a little bit more into the traditional topics here. So I think what I'd like to do, let's just go ahead and get started right away with little Blackstone Fortress. You know, Al, I know that we're over here in the States and it's 7:45, but it's like whatever the frick time in the morning over there, man. You're being a hell of a trooper, sticking with us and allowing us to keep you up like this. So let's get into this, man. Let's so let me kind of set this up here a little bit in my neophyte 40K knowledge here. So basically, Blackstone Fortress is this the series of fortresses, right? Or am I completely messing this up already? Where these
yeah, there was 6 Blackstone fortresses were discovered early in the Imperium's history.
Yeah. And this goes back to, you know, I guess what was it? Almost like the war of well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to keep butchering this thing. So why don't you go ahead and you know, because it's more like the I guess the Adeptus Mechanicus were involved in. I'm drawing a blank and I'm killing the thing right now. So
that's all right.
Go ahead, man.
So these are basically these 6 Blackstone fortresses were found by the Imperium, made by no one knows who, but these are like superpower weapons.
Okay.
I mean, Abaddon managed to take control of them through some of the Black Crusades, destroyed a planet and made a star supernova using these as weapons. So these are planet destroyers, but they're also shrouded in mystery. No one knows who really made them. So the Imperial claimed them, effectively changed them to use them as big deep space naval bases.
Okay.
And then they were towed into position and used as Imperial megastructures. However, throughout the wars and different things and the Horus Heresy and all kinds of things, some of them have gotten lost, but they're completely shrouded in mystery. There's all kinds of weird and wonderful things going on inside these places, and no one really knows what's going on with them, other than it harnesses the power of the warp to be used as a weapon, really. But but this new game that's coming out looks amazing. I mean, again, the models that GW are bringing out now look fantastic. So this set's going to contain 44 miniatures. They're in the wonderful pre-colored plastic that they're doing now. So the red miniatures are going to be the good guys, and the gray ones will be the bad guys.
So if I can back up here, so just before we get into the game content, because this was for me as a like I said, a fairly inexperienced 40K player, this was kind of a new. I'd never even heard of these things before, and so you know, does this goes back to the, you know, right around, I would imagine, the Age of Strife, or you know, kind of the, you know, right around the dawn of the Imperium, right? I mean, these things these space stations are that old, correct?
Very, very old, and they still don't know who made them. I've never read who made them. That's what I mean by shrouded by mystery. It's kind of they're alien constructed star forts, effectively. When I look at them, they remind me of the things from Battlestar Galactica that the Cylons had, but they'd be on a much, much bigger scale.
Yeah, and you know,
massive.
When I first started seeing some of the initial pictures, I immediately started to like look at, you know, some of the earlier Aliens, you know, kind of movies, and you know, some of the space stations that were there, and I don't know why it just kind of took me to like a real, like some of the classic sci-fi. But the backstory is actually pretty interesting, where I guess I'm going to say this right, and Gary or Sean, you guys know probably a heck of a lot more about this than I do, but there was basically, shortly after, I guess, the dawn of the Imperium, if that's the best way to put it, there was this great crusade, and shortly into that, you had, I guess, the Horus Heresy, right? And that's where this box set kind of touches on some of that, because you've got some of the AI technology in this robot that I'm sure you're going to be talking about, and some of the Dark Mechanicum, correct?
Or was that to the others, or was that to me?
Oh, well, I think, yeah. I guess I'm kind of pitching the ball to anyone who wants to grab it. So.
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, that's the basic goes off of it. It's very cool that they're bringing this type of thing that's in there out of nowhere. It wasn't like this is brand new, and I think it's got quite a bit of a following to it, much like the Silver Tower game did whenever it came out. But it looks to be vastly different. And speaking of vastly different, I want to see if throughout the show, if anybody can pick out on one of the models that's on there, there's something that's never been seen before. So there's something, a little Easter egg for people to look for. And that
like some kind of an artifact or a necklace, or what are you referring to? You got to give us a hint.
There's a model that's equipped in a way that we've never seen a model of that faction be able to be equipped before.
Okay. All right.
I know which one it is, but I'm going to hold out for a minute.
You don't know anything.
Oh, I'm gonna screw that up, man. But Al, I'm sorry about that, bud. I kind of
all right.
Derailed your momentum there.
So yeah, this is effectively like the 40k version of Warhammer Quest. I'm not entirely sure on the full rules of it. I haven't researched that enough yet, because being a painter, I love looking at the miniatures and looking at the fluff for them, really. So we get 9 characters we get to use. The first one, Janus Drake, is a rogue trader. Rogue traders I imagine them as kind of like space pirates who work for the Imperium, really. I think the backstory in this guy is that he's been sent along to the fortress to try and obtain some artifacts to take back to the Imperium. But I don't know if you've got a picture of Janus that you can plonk up there.
I'm looking for it as you're talking.
But I think Janus is like the vanilla character. From what it says, he's pretty much got some solid stat lines and states for mid to short range. So I can't actually see that he's actually got a pistol or anything. I can see he's smoking some massive cigar though. So
yeah, I'm looking right now. But what I think was kind of interesting about this I guess this game is that they kind of touch on some of their older backstory and some of their older games. I mean, doesn't this also touch on some of their Battlefield Gothic and things like that? I mean, isn't that am I right on that?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of things that we've not seen before. One is Imperial Navigator. I can't ever remember there being an Imperial Navigator model before. But yeah, this model, it's unusual.
All right, I think I found him. Here you go. So
I pinged you an email with all the pictures earlier. I don't know whether that come through or not.
You're making it too difficult on me, man. I can't keep up with that kind of intelligence. So let me see if I got that again. Go and see, if you got the link, send it to me again, because I just want to make sure I have it. But I think this is the guy, right?
That is the guy.
Yeah.
I have not got a clue what's on his back, but it's probably some exotic creature that's been beheaded at some point. But the miniatures just look fantastic.
Hey, Gary, I think I know what it is.
What?
It's the Chaos Warrior with a Thunderhammer.
That's correct.
10 points.
Wow, there you go.
He listened to a podcast earlier that said it, I'm sure. So.
No, I was actually looking through all the miniatures, and I'm like, oh, they never had a Thunderhammer.
I stole that from somebody, but it's even on his data slate. So.
Well, you just need a storm shield. Go with it.
Yeah, let's not get crazy.
Let's not ask for too much, right?
Right, I know.
The Chaos Marines
the Imperium they're taking stuff from. You know how touchy they get. So.
So let's keep rolling, man. Let's keep talking about it.
We've also got a Ministorum Priest, which seems to be like a supporting character. A lot of these characters will be coming out with data sheets that allow you to use them in 40k, and rumor has it he will buff Sisters, which is going to be an interesting one. Going on from a priest, we then have the Imperial Navigator. I don't know if you found a picture of that one yet, but it's,
Yeah, I'm grabbing them right now. So
out of all the miniatures, I love them. Apart from this one, it just looks weird. But anyway, moving on. We have Missionary Zealot, which has got probably one of the best looking weapons I've ever seen. It's a flamethrower with a chainsaw built in. These miniatures just look amazing. And my favorite one out of all of them is a big robot called UR025, which is apparently an Imperial robot in the service of a Magus. But the backstory behind this robot is he's actually sentient and has AI. He's also, from the backstory, one of the Men of Iron, if you guys know what the Men of Iron are.
yeah, I'm these guys might, but I don't. So I'm willing to kind of listen to a story here.
Okay, years and years and years ago, basically, that effectively Skynet was made. Well, not quite Skynet. Where humanity were building these robots and making these fantastic artificial intelligence, they actually turned on the humans, and there was this massive war, which made the Horus Heresy look pathetic, really. Where humanity teamed up with an unstated alien race to try and take these guys out, and eventually won this war against the Men of Steel. Now, this robot is one of the Men in Steel in disguise of an Imperial robot, supposedly in service of the Mechanicum to try and get artifacts. But
no, in service of the Dark Mechanicum, because the Mechanicus don't like AI, right?
yeah, we don't know whether he's Dark Mechanicum, but because Men of Iron were pre-Dark Mechanicum.
I see. All right, and you know what's interesting about the kind of the look of it. It kind of looks like an old, I'm almost like, if you ever watched any of the old sci-fi, shows or robot shows from like the 1950s and 60s, it kind of looks like that old throwback kind of a robot.
Bit like the Castellan robots.
A little bit, yeah. But I mean, the Castellans themselves are kind of those, AI. That I know the Mechanicus aren't too thrilled with those guys. So
I think they were pre-AI, but then they put data tethers in them, didn't they? So it's
that's right, yeah.
You have to kind of plug them in to change their protocols and different things. But I would imagine they would have probably had AI at some point, but had it uninstalled.
Yeah, the backstory, at least the way I gathered it, was not to go down too much for rat hole in the castle and robots, but they're pretty much tolerating because of their physical might, and they're these rugged walking tanks, that can take a beating. So they kind of shove them out there in front of the rest of their troops and kind of let them clear a path. So
be interesting to see who this guy's going to play for when we get the 40k deck, because within this pack that we get with the game, you'll get data sheets for all the characters, so you can use them in 40k. It'll be interesting to see where he comes into it. Will he be Mechanicum? Or will he be Imperial? Who knows? He could go the route of the Imperial Knights. The Imperial Knights. When you're playing that army, you have to kind of claim, which who you're allegiant to. The Imperium or the Mechanicus. As far as you're going to be Questor or Mechanicus or Imperium. So it could go that kind of a route, which would be kind of neat. I think. It's just a great. I love the model. Anything to do with robots, I think is great.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I love the kind of nostalgia piece to it. Gary, Sean, what do you guys think of this, man?
No, I think it'll be fun. It looks like it'd be a good way to do a campaign too, potentially.
Well, that's pretty much what this is, right? I mean, they kind of, this whole game is kind of preface set it off of. Well, isn't it? It's 1 to 5 players, I think, as I seem to recall.
1 to 5 players.
Yeah.
You'll get 5 booklets with it. You'll get a normal rules booklet. There'll be a booklet which is like a condensed combat booklet. Preset booklet. This details the actions that occur between the expeditions. So there'll be some things that happen between you roaming around the map and doing bits and bobs. So I'd imagine it could be purchasing things or modifying weapons, something along those things. You'll have a background booklet which will tell you all about the fortress, the explorers, and the hostile forces they'll face. And then there's a booklet of data sheets which will be included, which will detail what factions these miniatures can be included in your 40k games.
I think I heard something where it's these guys, they're actually like Ratkin, right? Almost like Skaven now. Is that? I'm trying to look up.
There are. Yeah, moving down. We have the Ratkin, which is it's a pair of twins actually. Rain and Rulse, I think they're called. Yeah, they're a package deal. So if you play as both of them, one of them seems to have some kind of las gun in his hand. The other one has a grappling hook. So
I wonder if
it'll be
I wonder if
interesting.
the rules for those guys are going to be, kind of preface it off of, keeping them kind of close to each other or something like that. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, it says on there the twins operate separately from each other, but they fight as a pair. So it opens up some unique opportunities and synergies. There's Rain
There you go.
tracks their targets, and Rouse takes them out from a range.
Here's, I'm right now. Here's the. Oh, so
Yeah.
they're actually not Skaven. They're actually. I'm thinking Ratkin. I'm
Oh,
thinking the
they're-
actual rodent.
they're
But they're
Those are
halflings.
ratlings.
ratlings. There you go. All right.
Yeah, like
I'm
halflings, aren't they,
I'm
in the
just
future?
botching the crap out of this 40K thing right now. Gary's got to be vomiting in his garbage can right now.
It might help if you played more.
Oh my god.
Okay, and the next one we have on the list is an Eldar Ranger, which is probably one of the nicest Eldar miniatures I've ever seen. If I'm honest, I'm not too
There you
up
go.
on
You
Eldar
have the
stuff.
AOS guy trying to find a 40K model. That's the problem.
and getting the crap kicked out of him the whole time.
It's the first one, for God's sakes.
There you go. Hey, I found it.
It's the model with the scope on it.
There you
It's
go.
green.
Actually, you know what? That I see conversion on that model. Although I think there's going to be a lot of conversion potential with that thing.
If you could get rid of the gun and turn it into a solitaire, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like Solitaire. He took out Belisarius in one turn.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
Wow.
of him either, but he's really good. So
Oh, you
Yeah.
shoot a last cannon at them, they just pop if they don't make their invulnerable safe.
you do realize it's a character, right? And you'll never be able to shoot at him.
Yeah.
The sniper las cannon. Somebody has it.
Hopefully that big robot will have it.
Right.
No, he's got the sniper assault cannon.
The big robot reminds me of the refrigerator from Fallout 76.
Oh, yeah. This is very true. This is very
Actually, you know
true.
what? Like I said, it does kind of look like. You know what? I don't want to sound like I'm not. Now that I see the actual model, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm. I guess I don't want to say that I was expecting more, but
Let's face it, if it's pre-heresy, it's going to be old school.
yeah.
But if it's AI, I would have thought it would think to upgrade itself here and there, and probably has to try.
Yeah,
and
just
look
upgraded the software.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the backstory on this guy is, didn't okay. So after the the wars, these things were pretty much destroyed. Through the whole Terran Crusade, and coming off of the Black Crusade, the 12th or 13th Black Crusade, whatever preface headed, kind of the backstory of this game. From what I understand, these guys were all destroyed, but this thing almost has its own. It's got its own awareness where it kind of hit away on this ship, and it kind of came back to life, and nobody really knows like what it's doing, but it's just it's kind of there, right?
This comes to the ship with the group. So they're kind of like a group of rogue traders will take anyone with them to go and accomplish things. The Imperium would look at some of the followers there, like the Eldar or the Tau group thing, and would be like, no, you can't do that, that's heresy. Whereas rogue traders will kind of, because they're out on the outskirts and past the boundaries, exploring, they'll take anyone on their journeys with them. They're kind of like I see them as like future pirates in a way, but work for the Imperium. So this robot would have come with the rogue trader onto the fortress. So the story is it's a group. The 9 people are a group together that come onto it.
Gotcha. All right. Let's
But
keep
this robot would have had the cover of being an Imperial robot all this time. So
Wow.
he's pretended to be an Imperial robot sent by a Magos of the Admech. However, he isn't. He's there looking for parts of other men of iron, perhaps to rebuild a friend or some kind of artifact. But I'm looking forward to reading the book.
He could be a bad guy.
Well, they are. They wanted to wipe out humanity. So
Okay.
yeah, be interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going through it. So what's the next character?
Next character we have is the group tracker.
First
There he
time
is.
got that one right.
There we go.
You could use it as a shaper model. That'd be good to use if anybody took Kroot shapers in 40K.
How is I guess I'm going to ask a dumb question here, but how's an all Kroot army? Like, if you were to, are they effective at all, or do they just
Terrible.
Okay?
Oh, I've never seen them
Pretty
on the
bad.
battlefield.
Because Kroot aren't allowed to take any type of drones, and drones are how you get to hit at a +1 and reroll ones and ignore cover on a unit and take, heavy damaging weapon shots. And oh, look, on a 2-up, it passes over on my battle suit to this drone, and you just wasted a D6 weapon on it. All right.
Yep. Big fan. Talisman X Army.
So you don't see a lot of all Kroot armies. I thought as far as the models, I thought they were some of the cooler ones I've seen. But maybe
They are.
my fan guy talking to me there.
The rumors have it that there's supposed to be all Kroot codex, like supplement, but that's been rumored for a while now.
You got to love rumors. You got to love rumors. All right, so
A couple editions ago, you could do it. They had a whole bunch of Forge World stuff too. So
yeah. So we got we covered the Kroot. We got the elf. We got the Men of Iron. What else? We got the
That is all the characters. So we've got the 2 ratlings. We've got the elf.
What about this guy here?
That is an Imperial Navigator. That was the model. What I said that I'm not too keen on. It just doesn't float my boat.
Interesting. You know what? Gary, Sean, what do you think of this one?
It looks like something that would not be in either one of the games that they produce.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure. It has a place, but I just don't think it's in 40K and certainly not in AOS. Maybe like a Necromunda type game somewhere, but those are more like games.
Yeah,
on the flat head at the top. I think they overdid it there.
With the T. What's that supposed to do? I don't get it.
I think it picks up satellite TV.
I know what it does for me. It gives me line of sight to it. That's what it does.
There you go. Yeah.
Or you could hang your washing on it to dry. That'd be one of it.
It's a clothes hanger or whatever. Okay.
That model there is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean,
Brilliant,
this one right here, I can already see this thing is going to be. You know what that whole pose. I guess that's a pretty popular pose with whatever portfolio you're playing in the GW line, but that's very Ideneth Deepkin kind of a thing to me. I've seen that. They seem to have used that type of pose in their army 100 times. But I do love, and he kind of has like the Pope's hat on. What's this guy all about?
He's a priest.
Yeah, it's Thaddeus the Purifier. Following a holy vision, he comes to the Blackstone Fortress to bring in the Imperial cult. He wants to purge any taint that has befallen the fortress, and is perfectly fine with a liberal use of promethium in the process. So, yeah, he's pretty badass. And the one that you've just gone to with the flamethrower is his kind of apprentice.
Really?
Yeah, she's a glass cannon.
Okay.
She pumps out the most damage in the whole game, apparently.
So he's got this little acolyte running around.
Yeah, she's an ex-hive ganger, so she knows how to fight. But she converted, and now she fights alongside Thaddeus the Putrefier.
Okay.
And helps her part with the faith. But yeah, she's a glass cannon, so she's got a chainsaw and a flamethrower. Pumps out the most damage out of everyone, but if she gets punched, she's gone.
Yeah.
But the model, that's my favorite model out of all of them. It just looks awesome.
It's that it really is. I gotta hand it to him. That is wait a minute.
They're the bad guys.
There's a Minotaur.
That's
They're Beastmen. I was saving that.
Holy cow! All right, you know what? I got a mild stiffy on that one. Let's just jump right to those guys.
Yeah, you get four Chaos Beastmen. You get 1 Chaos Lord, which has got a wonderful hammer in his hand, which I think may be a precursor trial model for the new Abaddon figure they're going to be bringing out soon.
Yeah.
2 Chaos Space Marines. They look like the Chosen ones that were in the Dark Vengeance box, which is great. They were just the better models for
Those
Chaos
models
Space
are really
Marines.
nice. I agree.
4 Ghouls, which are, I imagine, those little ghost things in the middle.
Yeah.
Look a bit like ghouls.
Yeah, these guys right here. Yeah.
4 Negayolt cultists. Apologies, we're trying to spell this out. I'm terrible with spelling.
That's okay. We're bad too.
Yeah,
so.
we skip over it all the time, man.
Two rogue psychers. I think they're the guys at the front left. One of them looks like the big-headed guy from Green Lantern.
Right here,
yeah. We have 4 spindle drones, which I think look like the Mechanicamy guys in the middle with bits and bobs and wires hanging off.
The drones are actually the little things. Yeah.
So the cultists must be the ones with the pipes coming off. Yeah. And then we've got 14 traitor guardsmen, which will be perfect cultists.
Yeah,
I think.
Or Trader's Guard, because they actually have rules too.
So do you think there's a potentiality that what we're seeing here? I mean, you got the Trader Guard, you've got you got the Beastmen right here, and do you think I mean, let me ask you that: do you think there could be a potentiality for a Beastman 40K army?
Yes, Slanesh. Or no, let me rephrase that. Khorne.
Yeah. I could see that happening. I think that with GW, I think they test the water. And I think depending on how the sales go for that and the feedback they get from that, we may be seeing a lot of these produced even more.
Well, they used to have like Eldar riding cold ones back in the day.
Yeah, that's just an unbelievable. I mean, these models are exquisite. I mean, I look at these things. I'm just in awe of these things, especially when you compare them to, quite honestly, other companies. But so this was so Gary, this was the hammer you were talking about before.
Well, yeah, because in Chaos Space Marines they don't have storm shields and they don't have thunder hammers.
Okay,
so that's unprecedented for him to have a thunder hammer that's on there. And
now,
what makes him the badass though is a plasma pistol.
Now, what's the significance there? Why don't they have thunder hammers? Just something they don't do, or is there?
They left before. They didn't take them with them when they left.
They didn't. They don't pick them up when they kill the Marine.
I was gonna ask. I was like, so when they kill the Marine, they don't grab them?
Well, the Dark Forge for some reason or another can't make those a storm shield.
Okay.
Iron Halos, no problem, but storm shields out of the question. So.
Got it.
Oh, I found the rules for it. Hold on.
Oh
yeah.
Let's see what this hammer can do. Okay. I'm just scrolling down to see if I can find that guy with a hammer.
Yeah, that's and I was while you're doing that, Al, I was reading something.
Thunder hammer. Oh, that's going to be strength 8.
Okay.
-3 AP, 3 damage. When attacking with this weapon, subtract 1 from the hit rolls.
How many attacks does he get?
He gets 4 attacks.
Wow.
It's got Death to the False Emperor. Each time you roll a hit roll of 6+, in the fight phase, he can, if he was targeting an Imperium unit, immediately make an extra attack against the same unit using the same weapon. These extra attacks cannot themselves generate further attacks. So any roll of a 6, each time you hit, generates an extra attack. If it's targeting an Imperium unit, so...
Is it a 6+ or is it a...
6+, yeah.
Okay.
Lord of Chaos, reroll, hit rolls of 1 for friendly Black Legion and friendly Servants of the Abyss. Well, that's interesting. So keywords, Black Legion, Servants of the Abyss.
That could be something that they're going to be coming out with later. Like, because people were talking about years ago. This is back when they first did the whole 13th Crusade or whatever. Like, we're talking like early 2000s. Like, because you used to be able to have like the abominations of chaos, like trolls. You could have ogres, all kinds of stuff. So hopefully, maybe they'll come back out with that. I think that'd be really cool if they did.
You're saying in 40K?
Yeah. This is back in the before time when it was like 3rd edition going into 4th edition.
Oh, okay. All right.
So yeah, that'd be kind of cool. It was then they kind of retconned a lot of the stuff that happened. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they still got a whole, they got a lot of new story arcs in this edition. So
this is right now. This is pre-order. When does this thing actually drop? When can you actually get your sweaty palms around this?
Should be next week.
I
Or
think
this Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, the drones. Faction keywords: Blackstone construct unaligned. That's interesting.
So I'm wondering if you could take. So anybody could probably at their turn could take and use those. Right? Is that what they're saying?
Oh, this is the 40k rules. So they're unaligned.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So, but it's Blackstone construct. So, I've put the link for the rules up in the chat section of.
I'm going to grab that right now. Let's see if I can.
It covers everything: the cultists, legionnaires.
All right. Yeah. So there was something I was reading about this game too that that just looks too cool. I was reading that there's almost going to be like these choose your own adventure almost type of gameplay where you can almost as the game goes along, they're going to give you an envelope and stop me if you guys can either explain this better than myself or if you've already heard this, where you can almost like a time vault, almost, I guess the better way to put it, where you can pack your miniatures, not your miniatures, but your actual recording of that game in an envelope. So the next time that you open the game up, it's you're kind of at that present point in the game. That makes sense. The way I described that.
Oh, like a continuing campaign where you take a little break, or like a D&D type thing, right?
Exactly. And then I was also from what I understand that when your characters, when they die, they're actually dead. Like that's it. Oh,
I haven't read too much on how the rules go with this one.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah, I may have to stay on this page for a little while, man. That's good stuff. That's pretty cool.
But it looks great. Looks absolutely amazing. I know with some of the board games I have, like Time Stories, the way you pack it away, you can save where you are. So I don't know whether it's something similar to that, but I think most companies just use apps now. I think with Imperial Assault, the Star Wars like Dungeon Bash game, I've got an app on there which literally saves where everyone is and all the experience and things they've gained. So you could literally pull it out, rejiggle it, have completely different people play it. But then if you wanted to go back to it, you've got all the information on the app. So I don't know. Okay. There might be some app support come out for it in the future. See what the demand is for it, really. But it is exciting. I just hope it, because Silver Tower was great. I really enjoyed Silver Tower, and the one after that was great. I was a bit disappointed nothing further come out, because you complete all the campaigns and then there hasn't been anything more. So I was kind of hoping for a bit more of the old school Warhammer quest. But
you know what I think in a way it's kind of it's kind of on GW, right? I mean, I think they saturated their own market. I mean, if you really look back on it, now we have we have Night Vault, we've got Titanicus, we have Kill Team, Blood Bowl, Necromunda, and Speed Freaks too. That's its own box game too, right?
Yeah,
guys?
yeah. I enjoy a lot of the box games actually, like the Space Hulk. I absolutely love Space Hulk. Yeah. It takes ages to prepare it, but it's good fun.
Yeah, I think I think in a way, I think they kind of bum rush it, and we did talk about this a show or so ago, but I think do you get the suspicion that maybe they're going to want to push more of the box games rather than the large tabletop type of experience? Or is that me just, like I said before, being kind of like
I think their sales is through the plastic, so selling the miniatures. I don't think these little box things. I don't think they make a massive amount of money from them compared to straight off the shelf GW stuff.
Yeah, as Gary calls it, the gateway drug.
That's right.
Yeah, the plastic crack, as it's known over here.
You got to get that taste.
I do know there's a lot of box games that got bought and the game never played. Just the models pillaged out of it and moved on.
Oh, you had that with like Burning of Prospero and the Horus Heresy ones, weren't they? A lot of the 30k players just bought them just purely for the miniatures.
Oh
Yep.
Yeah.
I was hoping they would have had Assault Marines in one of those box sets, but never came up.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is going to be exciting. So it looks like it's going to go for 150 US, and that would be right around what, about 230 UK, somewhere around there. Am I right? Or,
It's about £95.
oh, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going the wrong way.
Australia is like probably close to 340.
Yeah, we can ask Renee. It's probably like $17,000 in Australia or something like that. Whatever it is. Those guys get mollywomped, but man, that's stuff's expensive. So, but yeah, so it looks like so this thing's going to drop. Well, or am I a week behind? So this thing, we should have this weekend or next weekend.
It comes out Saturday, Pat.
Okay, pre-order.
Pre-order. Yeah,
That's
most
right.
things that are on pre-order are normally for 1 week. So.
I know that. I just had to make sure where I was. Man, too many beer hops, and I can't quite get the brain thinking this morning. But yeah, great model range. It's going to be exciting. I think this is going to be well, I think this is going to be right up there. I think this is going to complement the AOS side, the Night Vault very well. I think previously known as Shadespire, but I like the direction they're going in. I'm looking forward to kind of see if there's going to be like a Beastman ilk kind of a 40k type army. So this is going to be but I imagine, I wonder if they're going to have this at like big tournaments like Adepticon. I wonder if they're going to be having like tournament play for this. Probably too soon, I would think, but maybe not.
I think it's more of a narrative kind of.
Yeah, you won't get
game.
tournament from that.
No, Shadespire.
They might have it as a demo thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Like you'll see like Underworlds and more than likely, because they actually have that for Adepticon on Thursday and Friday, I believe. I want to say Saturday and Sunday probably too. And then they also have a bunch of kill teams. So I think you'll see those more at like tournaments or events. This is going to be more kind of like a narrative kind of thing, which is fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just astounded by the value you get for. I mean, you get all of this for $150. That's pretty incredible.
I'll tell you one thing: those that Chaos guy would probably be used as like, and then those Trader Guard.
Yeah,
they would be used for. I'm guessing Cultists right now, but I'm hoping they come out with the whole like Trader Legion stuff again from like years ago. That'd be kind of cool.
You know what? I hope so. So let me ask you this. So Al, so over in the UK, I mean, so does your club play? I mean, is this something that you guys prefer to play these type of games, or is it kind of a mix? I mean,
we like to have a bit of a mixture, really. I mean, we've got a large 40k group at the club, but a lot of us will play Silver Tower. This will be one which we'll play for sure. It just looks great. I mean, we're big fans of 40k fluff.
Yeah,
we all read the books, and I've just finished Lords of Silence, which is one of the best books I've ever read.
Well,
I
agree with that. I would say if you look at the backstory, science fiction backstory, right up there with 40k. It shares a lot of complementary space with Dune. I would say Star Wars. I would say a lot of the really good, rich science fiction lore and backstory. I mean, it's amazing. I love the half the time I don't know what the hell I'm reading about, but I love it anyways. And the more I get to know about it, I can see why 40k fans are so fanatical. It's actually a great game. The more I get into it, for sure. So I'm going to kind of switch gears here a little bit. I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. So before we got going on the show, we're kind of talking a little bit about your club, and you had mentioned to me that you are the president of your gaming club. Kind of talk a little bit about that, because that's actually kind of cool. I mean, so is it a rather large club?
No, I'm not yet, but I will be becoming. I think we're looking at, so yeah. Our club's fairly big. I think we've got over 100 members. Most nights we have probably five or six tables of fairly large games that ranges from like Lord of the Rings. Funnily enough, we still play that. We've got a few people who play that. People who play 40k. Some people play 30k. But there's a wide range of all kinds of different things that we play at the club. Some of us like to play things the same thing every week. I like to vary it. Like this last week I was playing the Batman miniatures game. I'm like the biggest fan of Batman. So but then next week I think we're playing Imperial Assault, which is Fantasy Flight games like Dungeon Bashing.
Yeah.
Go a bit like Warhammer Quest but set in Star Wars, which is great. And then the week after that I think I've got a 40k game ready to go.
Nice. So do you guys have a particular night you guys meet, or is it just kind of whenever you guys
every Wednesday night we all meet up. Luckily we've got like a sports and social place where we go to, so which is really nice, because we get discounted beer, which is fantastic. And so we've got a massive car. We don't have to worry about parking. We've got a massive car park. So it's lots of great things. And they're a lovely bunch of people. I think it's the community what makes it, isn't it? Well, think about it. I mean, you wouldn't want to play if everyone was an a-hole. I think it's the niceness and the welcomeness of most people draws us to that. But the club's been running for years, absolute years.
So you got into it. You got into it just as a club member. And what? How did you get to be nominated as president of the club?
They're still nominating at the moment, but I think that we nominate committee members. We have like 7 committee members, and then from there we will decide who's going to be president, treasurer, secretary.
Right.
I think it's kind of we know the direction it's going at the moment. Our other president is standing down because of work commitments. He works for. Have you guys ever heard of Guild Ball?
Yeah.
Yeah. The president of our club, Sherwin, is the story writer for Guild Ball.
Huh.
The Brewers, man. That's a great game.
Brewers, yeah. So we've got quite a large Guild Ball following at the club as well. So he's got a lot of work commitments with that, and obviously he wants to put a lot more effort and time into it. And he may be moving up to Manchester to where the headquarters is and everything. So because of that, he's having to step down. He's been president for years. He's a lovely guy, he's really good, a lovely gamer. Yeah. So it's sad to see him go, but it's with everything, it has to evolve and change, doesn't it, and adapt. And things move on. So
speaking of your presidential race, I mean, I know that Sean and Gary and I, we're not citizens of the UK, but being from Chicago, we can help rig an election. We can get you in there pretty quick if we can help.
Vote early, vote often.
That's right.
No, that's all right. We've got sodium pentothal over here.
There you go. I tell you what,
just lace some drinks. It's fine.
But you got our vote, man. If we have any say in it all, for sure.
I think there's a core of us who are staying on the committee, and we've pretty much said, right, we're happy to do these roles. So it wouldn't surprise me that everything will stay in place. So yeah.
Well, what's funny is when
it'll be different.
Well, but I think that's a good thing, and we've said it in different varying degrees here on Grimdark. We talk about the social contract of the gaming. We talk about most recently we've been talking about birds of a feather flock together, and I think good people are generally rally around good people, just like pricks are going to rally around those kinds of people. And I think
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I think if you have a good community, that it's good people are only going to. No matter what the situation is, good people are going to migrate towards each other, and I think it's exciting. 100 people in a club. I mean, for over here, I don't know that I know of a club around. I mean, Gary, Sean, help me out here. Do you guys know of a club that's that large over here? I don't know. I don't know.
The Woman Haters Club.
Oh, wow!
Three Stooges reference.
Hush falls over the crowd.
I'm talking about gaming.
I don't think there's some that are that large, but aren't active. If that makes sense, because you've got 40K, like Beast Coast is probably 160 members in it, but they're all spread out, so they don't actually get together on a regular basis.
Right.
So probably not.
I got it. All right.
Well, ours is literally. I think there's only 2 Wednesdays a year we don't meet up, and that's because of Christmas and New Year. But we're open every Wednesday, and it's just nice. You don't get the same people every week because obviously people have work commitments, families, and other things going on. But majority of us are there as much as we can be, and it's great. We've got fantastic scenery that we can use, roll out mats, you name it. It's
That's awesome.
Yep.
I'll have to, next time I'm on, I'll make sure I've got some pictures to show you guys. I had a really good Batman miniatures game, City, that I had on last night. I bought a load of these buildings from a company called Foreground.
Oh, sure, I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they do pre-painted MDF. I mean, MDF is like the worst thing in the world to paint because it just absorbs paint. However, Foreground stuff is pre-painted, and it's some of the nicest scenery you can buy, like cities and different things.
So, if you take a lot of pictures and give us the name of the place, send it over, and I'll have my son make a take one on it, and we'll throw it up on the YouTube channel.
Oh, brilliant! That'd be cool.
Gavin has done the last couple of take ones, and real talented guy. He does a great work. So we just put up the interview. We did we had a local tournament here called Dragonfall, and Gavin just the most recent one that was put up this morning was of all of the Age of Sigmar interviews after the team tournament at Dragonfall. So he handled all those.
I've just pinged through a load of pictures from.
I saw him coming through
from last night. So you get an idea of the city that we were. I was playing Suicide Squad. Against my friend who had Green Arrow and some cops with him, and Nightwing. But I've spent a few £100 on this city, including the diner with the nice black and white checkered floor and everything. I don't know if you can get some pictures.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to. We'll definitely have to show some of those. We'll put these together, and we'll actually put these together and actually show them. Maybe we'll definitely do this for a take one, because I'm just looking at a couple of these here real quick that I can present to everyone here. The
terrain looks really nice too.
Yeah,
it takes hours to build.
Yeah, this is actually
that's from inside the diner. That's Diablo.
Yeah,
from Suicide Squad inside the diner.
Yeah, look at that.
What's the name of the game?
It's the Batman miniatures game. It's made by a company called Night Models, which I think is a French company, but it's really, really good. I enjoy it. There's almost mini games just setting it up, because you put these lampposts down, and if you're within, I think 4 inches of a lamppost, you can be seen all the way across the city. However, if you're not, you can only see someone if they're 12 inches away from you, because everything all happens at night. So it's very strategic on what you can see, and it's brilliant. You have like Green Arrows using this, shooting arrows across and going across the buildings at the top. It's brilliant. Diablo's just setting all the cops on fire. It was hilarious.
They're one of the best terrain pieces right there in the top right of the picture.
Diet Coke.
I thought there was a beer at first. I was like, did that say Coors? I was like,
I think it was a beer. And then I think my friend Eric had a Coke. But we have so many different games played at the club. It's unreal. We even play Flames of War, which is the old school World War II.
Oh yeah.
World War II game. Pretty much everything. There's not much which hasn't been played there. We even play War Master, which is really old school.
I actually still have some Empire stuff somewhere.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh wow! You should come over to the UK. There's still tons of us who play it.
We figured out a way to get there in April. I'll drag a couple of these guys with, man.
You're all more than welcome to come. It would be amazing.
Well, good stuff, man. Well, let's keep it rolling. We got more stuff to get into, and folks, don't forget to join us on our website at www.grimdarklive.com or our Facebook page at Grimdark Live. While visiting us there on our website, you can get immediate access to some of our past shows or Take One videos, and as a matter of fact, speaking of Take One from Grimdark Live, this is a special series of ours. You make sure that you watch out for those videos. These are our extra webcasts for all things Warhammer 40K and Age of Sigmar, and topics range from bat wraps and special interviews, tutorials, and even some live gameplay. And we are starting to put together some bat wraps finally. So we got some of those things coming up. And most recently, this morning, we we just put up a brand new take one that Gavin, our camera guy and our little electronic wizard guy there in the background put together. And this one is the interviews, as I said earlier, from the team tournament at a tournament locally here in the Chicagoland area called Dragonfall. So watch out for that one. It's about a 6-minute video, and kick back and kind of watch that one. That's another good take one. And also you can get Grimdark Live on Twitter and Nobbler G, and also on Twitch TV. So you can definitely look out for us there. So we have a lot going on. And really it's interesting because there's so much that's happening here, and I almost feel like that our developments are kind of in pace with some of the exciting stuff happening. But as always, today's show is brought to you by Grognard Games. Stop in and see Todd and the gang there. You can visit them at 839 North Roselle Road in Roselle, Illinois, or get them at grognardgames.com. They're also Grognard is a local store here, Al, in this area, and they're a partner of ours of a tournament that we put on every year in May called Armed Forces Day. And this one is coming up May 18th of 2019, and where 100% of the proceeds goes towards the USO and to support our active duty troops. So that's a tournament that so maybe if you're here, Al, if you're hearing that at that time, shoot over and roll some dice for a good cause.
Yeah, definitely. It's the things like that are a great cause. We have one in the UK called Help for Heroes.
Okay.
Which supports like our veterans who've been there and perhaps lost limbs and different things in the different wars and everything. So we should be proud of our forces. I mean, they go out there and do stuff that some of us wouldn't want to see.
That's
I know what I do for a living. I see some pretty horrible things, but it takes a lot to go and do what they do. So my hat off to all of them. Yeah, and it's always good to give back to those guys that are sitting in some forward area somewhere, or, and they don't have the opportunity to roll dice, and it kind of helps us kind of appreciate where we get our ability to be able to do that on a Saturday. So they're the real heroes. Let's face it. Do you know what I mean? They're out there protecting us and looking after us. They're the heroes of real time.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. But so moving on. But Sean, we got some stuff coming up. You're going to talk a little bit about volunteering or working for an event. Something about the recent post fiasco.
This is something that's been kind of going on. But basically, I just want to touch base on the Night Haunt or the Underworld thing real quick.
Okay.
Because this is something kind of new for GW actually banning something. So they have a ban. They have banned cards. There's actually a list that you can get off of their site. But here's a link for all. It gives a list. But basically, banned means you can't use it. And they give there's 3 cards it looks like so far. And then they have something called restricted cards. So basically, you can only have a certain amount of the restricted cards in your list, in your deck that are on the list. So I want to say it is you can only have where is it? You can include more than 5 of the restricted cards. So you can have up to 5 of those restricted cards on the side.
Okay, so what were you saying before? I mean, you said that this is something that GW hasn't done as far as banning.
Yeah, those 3 cards right there where it says Universal Gambits.
Okay.
The Great Concussion, Shadespire.
Thinker, and the Time Trap.
Yeah, those you can't use in at least competitive play.
Okay, and are they just overpowered, or what's the reason for that?
Well, the Time Trap makes your opponent not able to activate. Like they lose an activation on one of their models.
Okay. I guess I'm failing to see. I mean, if that's a function of the game, they're just was it because of gamers bitching and they decided to cancel it? Or what's the background of that one?
Yeah, so like Time Trap, you choose a fighter, they can take an action. Basically, you allow them to take an action now, but you skip your next activation, so you get you get 5 instead of 4. Basically.
Okay. All right.
Or 3. Yeah, no. So you would do the 4th activation. You can't, try to get another activation or to make a fighter go, like in a clutch situation, kind of where like, hey, if this guy dies, I could probably lose, so I need to make him go now, kind of thing.
All right, so basically, so so this was a component of the game at one time, and it was overpowered. Gamers complained, and now they're banned.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the one where you can you choose a hex on the battlefield, then push all fighters one hex, the Great Concussion one.
Mhm.
So you can basically make them get away from you, and some think that's overpowered. I would expect some things to change every like maybe once a year or something like that. Maybe they'll do like a review kind of thing.
Right.
But and they also have a deck builder now, so you just go to the community's website and just click on the deck builder.
Oh yeah, kind of like War Scroll Builder, right?
Yeah, you build your deck, you can print it out, that kind of stuff.
But now is that free?
Yeah, it's free.
Okay. All right, good deal.
Yeah. But going back to my topic, Gary might want to chime in a little bit. So basically, I'll give a gist of what happened. Wizards of the Coast, there's a lawsuit of what people would be called judges. So basically, a Magic the Gathering judge. They know the rules, they stuff like that or whatever. Well, there's a lawsuit going over. They're saying that they, I don't know exactly all the details, but they were supposedly promised some type of compensation for running a Grand Prix, or like maybe a hotel, or they would give food or whatever. But what I'm trying to get at is this. If you're an employee, you normally get some type of payment for it. So like when GW sends their employees out to Adepticon to stream, they're probably getting paid.
Okay.
But if they had, the people who run a lot of their events, they're volunteering time, now they may get some type of compensation, but that is normally, dictated by the people in charge.
I see. So what you're talking about, I think I did hear something about this. This goes back, I don't know, a year or so ago, and this was this guy, Paul Yale, or whatever his name was, if I'm saying that right. He had a lawsuit that claiming that Magic judges are Wizard employees. And
yeah, he was trying to claim that they are Wizard employees. Now, a little bit of background on these judges.
Right.
They have these promo cards that when you're participating in so many events where like you judge at an event or whatever, you basically get credit points or whatever, and you get these promo cards that can be potentially worth hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, so the card themselves, right? So the cards have a face value to them. Yeah, okay, that's pretty typical.
And then for certain ranking size of events, like let's say Grogner wanted to run like a PPTQ, that's like a trial kind of thing. They need a certain level judge that can run that event. And unless you have a judge on, with staff, or one locally that will do it for you, you got to pay him some type. A lot of judges will do it with some type of compensation, maybe like some product or whatever. But that's between that person doing it and the group that wants to run that event.
Okay, so the basis of this guy Paul Yale's lawsuit that was dismissed. I mean, obviously the judge had the wherewithal to to tell this guy no way, which I think just kind of reading over this article and kind of hearing about it over the last year, I do agree with. But what was the basis of this guy's lawsuit? He felt he needed to be compensated because he did what?
Well, what happened was there's a group of judges, because when you go to a Grand Prix, there's probably at least 1,500 people probably in the main event.
Okay.
And you need judges because they have to, someone does something illegal in the game, like maybe they look at the card of their deck when they're not supposed to, or like there's the whole bunch of mechanics. I don't want to get into that because I could be here for about another 4 hours just describing that. But basically what it does is you call a judge and then they give a ruling or whatever. So you need a certain amount of judges per number of tables or whatever kind of thing.
All right.
So basically sometimes, they might, depending on it, like from what I think it was, like they were trying to, like something happened. They were going to comp some hotel rooms or something like that. I don't remember all the details because it's been, a year, a little bit more than a year.
Yeah, well, I think the article I just pulled up, just listening to you talk about it, was from August of 2017. So I mean, it's been quite a while.
Right.
There's a simple thing to this. Do you pay taxes for them? Or are you on their payroll?
Correct.
If you
That's
are
what I was
not,
going to get.
you do not work for them, period.
Yeah.
You're volunteering, and you are going to get from them whatever it is they give to you. If they don't give you anything,
You don't have to do it.
Basically one option: stop volunteering and judging. You don't have a recourse to go sue somebody that you don't actually work for because you don't like the way they're doing things.
Right. And like if they're going to comp something like a hotel or something like that, you need it in writing.
100%. That was to my next point. If you don't have something in writing, then you're going off of trust. If they break that trust, then stop judging for them because you are literally getting nothing out of it.
Right.
Nothing.
That's what I'm trying to get at is like, if they promise you something, you should get it in writing.
Yeah, and the thing is that it's funny. Here at Grimdark Live, we've been offered to go and do interviews and videos and all that kind of stuff at different people's tournaments. When we were going to head up to Renegade Open, and for just reasons things going on, we couldn't make it. But we get those kinds of things all the time. That we'll copy your room or come on up and whatever else. We'll give you a swag bag or whatever the deal might be. But what's amazing to me though is this lawsuit here. And Sean, I don't mean to kind of step on your momentum here, but
no, that's fine.
This Wizards of the Coast lawsuit harkens back to that $62.5 million lawsuit that guy sued Games Workshop for. As a matter of fact, early on back in the day with Grimdark Live, we kind of talked about that where there was an independent game store owner, for anybody listening who doesn't recall this, it's over with now, but this independent game store owner, can't remember the guy's name right now. I think it was David Moore, I believe, something that close. He had filed a criminal complaint with the federal court of Southern Florida, alleging 6 criminal violations of U.S. law based off of Games Workshop's business practices. And so he was trying to hit him up for things like fraud and price fixing and all this, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and all these kinds of things. And the sad part about it is, Games Workshop, obviously had to defend itself. There was a cost there. This guy's going after him for $62.5 million, and he was trying to get a bunch of, stores involved to do this. And so when you look at something like this, here that's going on here, where this guy's gonna sue Wizard of the Coast for something similar, it kind of makes you understand the some of the folks in the culture out there, in the community out there, right? So
yeah, I mean, I don't remember the entire story now. I mean, there's a whole bunch. I mean, this also actually happens at Gen Con and all those conventions around the country and stuff like that, where they're trying to say that people who supposedly are volunteers should be paid. Well, if you should be paid, then you got to pay taxes. You know what I mean?
Here's the underline underneath that, and call it like it is. People are all happy. Yeah, I'll volunteer, then I'll go. And then guess what that turns into? Work.
Yeah.
Now they're like, well, wait a minute. Well, no, you don't just get to show up on that. You actually have something you have to perform and do. And now, instead of it being all volunteer and do that, when they get done with it, they have this, well, I deserve to get something for what I did. Yeah. Well, no, that's not what it was, how it was agreed upon. What you got out of it was supporting the community and those type of things and creating your reputation for you. It's wanting something for nothing. Well, it's not nothing. I did something, but you volunteered to do that. They didn't bring you there, sign you to a contract or to an agreement, then you perform the service and not get paid. That's not what happened. Mm-hmm. So to me, this was a waste of time and money on somebody who was were employees. No, you're not.
I mean, so I volunteered to help the 40K side set up at Adepticon last year, and they basically said, hey, we'll give you guys a food coupon to go grab some food, and we'll give you VIG access so you don't have to wait in the stupid line. That was enough for me to say, okay, this is what they're giving me, and that's what they gave me,
Right, and they gave that to you. Now,
Yeah.
if they don't give that to you, guess what? Just stop and walk out.
Yeah, and that's all you got to do. Like, you just say, I'm done, because they unless you have something, like I said, unless you have something in writing, you really don't have that much of a case.
But this whole thing is just ridiculous to me. Because here's the thing. Whether or not the plaintiff or whatever you want to call these assholes that have these frivolous lawsuits out there against these companies. Where I was going with GW, or just like any business, right? I have a as a sidebar here. I've got a good friend of mine that owns a restaurant, and he was wrongfully accused by a patron for something, basically, long story long, poison food, or not poison, but bad food, and it cost him about $30,000 in fees. Well, the only thing he did is he had to readjust some of his pricing and things like that, and he kind of passed that on to some of the consumers. I'm not going to mention the restaurant; it's a pretty famous restaurant here in Chicago, but you have to wonder, if these people are, putting these out there, and a $62.5 million lawsuit, as in the case of GW, where they tried to allegedly get a bunch of other independent stores and people to kind of go after them. They're going to spend some money in legal bills, just like over here with Wizards of the Coast. And I can't help but think that some of that is passed on to the consumers. I mean, it's a negative cost imbalance, like thievery. You always hear the story, somebody steals something from a store, they have to kind of hike their prices up to cover that lost cost, so I just wonder if these people understand the overall negative impact that they're putting on a hobby that already is reliant on disposable income. I mean, let's face it, we're all in this hobby after we pay our bills and put food on the table and fix the car and all those kinds of things, right?
Dude, let's not bring up fix the car. I got to spend like $600 on tires. Let's not bring that up.
Every time I talk to you, there's something wrong with that freaking beater you got going on. Why don't you go and get an actual, you'd be better off with a Schwinn.
Hey. Those are the original tires that came on the car, and they have like 73,000 miles on it, and they're 60K mile rated tires. So I think I got enough value off of those tires.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of problems in the winter if you don't change those tires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can roller skate in your car.
That's going to get interesting. I mean, listening to all this.
They called it the clown car. The front tires never got traction the entire way to work.
Yeah. So, Al, listening to this, listen to us kind of banter back and forth on this topic. What are your thoughts on this?
About the judges. I don't know. I've kind of avoided. I used to buy Magic stuff years ago, but I kind of avoided it because there was always the judge thing, and people arguing and stuff. I'm quite a fluid player and like relaxed, narrative-y kind of game, so I don't. I got put off tournaments and different things years ago, so I try and avoid them, just because of hoo-ha and things just getting drawn out like this. But no, I don't know. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be fair to me to comment on that because I'm not really in that kind of scene anymore.
What we were kind of talking about too is these people that like this guy's gonna try to sue Wizards of the Coast over over what he believes should be compensation because he was there volunteering for.
Well, it's not just him. It's a class action lawsuit. So
it's a class action bullshit suit's what it is.
So let me get this right. These people have gone and volunteered to be judges.
All right. So basically, these are judges. So basically, the way it used to be before this whole started happening, because now they redid the structure. So you had years ago what used to be called a rule. It was like level 0. I wish Randy was here because he could actually back me up on this one. So basically, they were called a rules advisor.
Right.
So then you have like a level 1 judge where you actually, take the test and you have to basically tutor an apprentice under like a level 2 judge now.
Okay.
So, basically, because, if you ever looked at the Magic rulebook, there's about 400 pages of rules in there with a lot of subpoints in there. And it's a very, very, very strict, rigid like rule system. Like 40K is like, like not even close to the amount of rules that Magic has. Like
Because
you can't even.
there's all different sets as well, isn't there? You can have like classic and modern and
Yeah, they have standard, which is like the current 4 or 5 sets, and then you have modern, which is from like 8th edition all the way up till now, so like mid 2000s, and then you have legacy, which is like 96 era on now. But I mean, basically, to become a judge, you have to take the test, you have to apprentice, and then like these are like like stores will have a judge in there, so you can run certain level events for a level 1 judge. Then for like the higher of tier events, you need a level 2 judge.
Okay, so the tiers, does that mean like more people or
more
competitive or?
The tier judge you are is more like rank, if you will, in the military kind of thing. Like,
okay,
it's like levels. Like like I want to say it was like judge 1 and 2s are probably non-wizard employees, but like 3s and 4s were Magic judges. They're part of the rules team or whatever, that kind of thing. I don't remember how all the layering works because it's been a while since I looked into it, but now they're changing the way that they do stuff because of this.
Oh wow!
So
this
like
is just where someone's nose is out of joint and they're like, oh, I can make a
possibly
few bob out of it, isn't it? Really?
I mean, I got a couple buddies that were Magic judges. My one buddy still does it. I see him occasionally. And then my other buddy, he doesn't judge much because like you can become like if you don't participate, you can become deactivated, and then you have to like do certain things to become activated again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so like
Magic's always been quite hardcore, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, it's very. I mean, like I said, the rules are like 400 pages.
Wow.
Yeah,
And the thing that put me off is you could spend hundreds of pounds or hundreds of dollars on all these cards, not get one of these, what are they, field walkers or whatever they're called, and potentially not get any good cards. And it's all that money in a few months' time is pretty much down the drain because the next version. I saw that as kind of, there'd be a lot of cards that would be wasted. So I tried to veer away from it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There are roughly about 230 pages of rules.
Well, really?
so we don't drive this one. So the really cusp of it is just another frivolous lawsuit, just like what happened to Games Workshop almost almost a year ago as well. A year and a half ago, a guy tried to sue them. I think like we've always said, I think birds with feather flock together. We're going to have that percentage of any community that is a bunch of pricks, and we just got to make sure that as good people, we just stay away from them. But rolling on, I mean, and again, Sean, I didn't mean to cut that one short.
No, I didn't want to. Like, we kind of went a little bit more than what I kind of wanted to do. I just kind of wanted to, like, this is one of those topics where we could like derail easily on.
You could beat that into oatmeal pretty quick, but that is a great topic. But while we're kind of rolling on here with the show, I wanted to kind of throw out there a very, very special hello to Dal's brother, Merrick. He's out there listening right now. We know right now we've kept two poor guys up out there in the UK. But Merrick, thank you very much for being our number one fan out there in the UK. But I appreciate it. And so, is Merrick your older brother or younger brother?
Merrick is my older brother. He lives up in Lancashire, and he got into painting this year. I went up and stayed with my mum for a week just to catch up. I hadn't seen her for yonks.
Yeah.
So I decided it's a good 4 or 5 hour drive. So I drove up there, and me being me, I took some miniatures and painting with me for when everyone was out, and I had a week off work. And he used to be into it ages ago when Lord of the Rings first come out. And
that's like what, late 80s, early 90s, right?
Oh, years ago, absolute years. I remember he had like Shelob the Spider and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
And so I took a night up there, a Dominus class night, which I was painting. And he's into Twitch and gaming, and he's a brilliant gamer. People are always moaning at him saying that you're using mods and stuff, and he isn't. He's just good at it. And he kept looking over, watching me paint things, and he's like, "Oh, what are you painting? What are you painting?" And I was like, "It's an Imperial Knight." And now he's got tons of paints. I daily get miniature miniature photos from him saying that what he's done and different things. And in all fairness, considering he's only just got back into it, he's doing great.
That's awesome.
So,
Merrick, a very warm hello to you, buddy. Thanks for staying up and listening to us. Embarrass the hell out of your younger brother.
Yeah, he often asks, like, when you on Grimdark again, and I think he listens to your shows anyway. Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, I'll tell you what, you're our UK correspondent, man. We're pulling you on. That police work can wait, dude. This is more important.
Yeah, definitely.
But speaking of important stuff, Gary, Metta. Play the meta, right? To play or not to play. A little Shakespearean piece from Gary here.
Right. So click on that link I threw up there in the group chat.
All right, I'm going to it now.
Because we're going to go into something. A lot of things, girlfriends, kids, things like that. But numbers don't. So get some numbers up there. And
wait, did you say girlfriends, kids lie?
That's correct. So. Occasionally,
Send that somewhere. It got. I lost it. So send it to me again.
All right. It's in the group chat on the right. That's on mine. So.
Okay.
It's on the Hangouts chat.
All righty.
Do you see it? If not, I can send you in the other one.
Is that the spreadsheet?
Yeah, this is a spreadsheet.
Wow, what is this?
There you go.
I know what this is.
Is this dice statistics or something?
Now it's in both chats. So we'll get Pat Sparkbox to handle it. So
yeah, there you go.
You should really get a computer instead of a Sparkbox.
Great.
So,
all right, here we go. It's up.
Yay,
a bunch of.
So now up here, go click on overall. On the top, go up. There you go. Find overall to your right, to your
right. Overall. There you go. Got it.
All right. So this is a compile of all of the large events sent to Adepticon. Right. So what you're looking at here, you've got your factions, your best score, their top 20 average, their weighted score, and then your deviations. So what the meta is for people who may not know is, on a competitive side, the meta are the lists that are considered to be the best ones, and that's what you should play with, or you're dumb and you can't win. That's how.
Hence the meta, or not to play the meta, right?
Correct. So there's a friend of ours in a group who's one of the best players on the planet when he wants to be. He's recently won 2 large AOS events. His name's Alan Pajama Pants. He won the Boys GT and he won SoCal.
I don't think his last name was actually Pajama Pants. It's something hard to pronounce, so you just call him Pajama Pants, right?
About 15 syllables after that. So we're going Pajama Pants. He's won both AOS events and he's maxed the score every time. Every game is max score.
Okay.
So his philosophy is bring something that beats the meta and don't worry about the other stuff. So now, if looking through this above mean, below mean, what does all this stuff mean? So look in column E.
Okay, I'm here, column E, tier 1.
Oh, tier 1. These would be your meta lists in some form or fashion.
Okay.
So a meta list that's doing well at tournaments is going to have Astra Militarum in it, Tyranids, Drukhari, Yanari, and Eldar to some extent. Eldar's pretty
sure.
Cool.
Hey, Gary, can I just make a quick statement so Pat can understand this in AOS terms?
Sure.
Basically, Undead, Stormcast, Nurgle, Daughters.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you.
So, now, does that mean that everything else on here, other than these top 4, you shouldn't even look at or try and play?
No.
Why?
Because you're going to still see them.
Right, but why wouldn't I just play one of the top 4 and not worry about it?
Because it's probably bad for the game.
There you go. And what I like to say is don't follow what everybody else does.
Yeah.
You can go somewhere, copy it, and then play with it. And guess what? Your name's not Nick Donavati, Ben Boley, Alan Jomovich, Nick Rose, all these other guys that are winning events.
Sean Naden,
all of them. They know what they're doing. They play with it. This is not a game of, I'll just buy these models, paint it, put it on the table, I'm going to win. No. There's tactics involved and all of that. So once again, for the I don't know how many number of times this has been said, pick which one it is that you like the best and play with that one. Justin Curtis, who's another really, really good player that's in the area, I spoke to him. We had an RTT. I went 0-3. I took a list that Nick Rose won a GT with. He went 5-0. And I consider myself a decent 40K player, and I didn't win a game. So that's a testament to play what you're comfortable with and what it is that you're good at and what you like, instead of, oh, I have to play this because that's what wins. No, that's not what wins. The player is what wins. Now, with that said, if you scroll down a little bit, Pat, keep going down. If you pick anything from 26 up to about 15, let yourself know that you're in an uphill battle. That doesn't mean that you can't still do well.
Right.
The pure death watch the Las Vegas Open and win? Probably not. But if that's what you're going for, then you're going for the wrong reason.
Okay.
If you're going with Death Watch and that's your favorite, you're trying to be the best Death Watch player in the country or on the planet, because ITC is international.
Yeah.
So if you do better than every other Death Watch player, you're still going to get that trophy. You're still going to get that prize.
Right.
So you have to ask yourself, what am I in this for? Am I in this to switch to whatever the strongest army is, learn it, play it, watch it get nerfed, drop another $850 to buy the next new army, get it built, painted, play it for a couple months, watch it get nerfed, rinse and repeat.
You know, honestly, to me, it's the reason why I kind of blurted out as bad for the game is because, you know, I guess when you play any game competitively, no matter what the game is, really, you know, you've come across these types of guys that try to dominate the game through this type of strategy, and I call it the meta strategy, or the mindless meta strategy. But and I say it's bad for the game for a couple of reasons. One, you know, could you imagine seeing I've seen it plenty where you see the same freaking armies on the table, you know, on the AOS side, everyone's playing death.
So I have a solution.
Okay.
So
that's what I'm interested in.
Yeah. So if you play with Imperial.
Okay.
I'm listening. Because we know Pat won't play Imperium.
What the hell? How did I get thrown in the well on this one? Bastards.
You have the option to mix and match whatever. You have the largest pool of things that you can play with.
Correct.
So don't just look at this is what they're playing with. That's what I have to do. I'm not pointing directly at you, but Imperial.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Play the ones that you like to play with the best. Jeremy is probably one of the best examples of that.
You play Sisters with Guard.
Right. And sometimes it's Custodes, sometimes it's Blood Angels. He mixes it up. But Astra Militarum is very good, but he still is playing with Sisters, which is one of his favorites.
Right, because for the people who don't know, ITC picks basically the detachment that has the most points determine what your core army is.
Right. So here's what I'm doing, and here's what I would offer the other ones. If you don't have that option or that luxury, you don't play Imperial. If you play Imperial, you have access to all the goodies that you want to use. But you kind of have to do that to be hyper competitive. You have to do so. There's a couple that stand alone. Astra Militarum and Knights, to an extent, you can play by themselves and still compete, but I don't think you're going to win a whole lot of events. You'll go 4-1, 3-2, and still score high. So you have your options that you can choose from there and play that. By all means, do that. But I would suggest that, hey, I really like Space Wolves. Well, they're 24 down at the bottom. They didn't do well. Their book just came out, so forth. So they're still being learned. But nobody's going to learn them if every single person that plays a competitive event doesn't play with the army they like, instead play with the army that's winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they're not going to get any better because nobody's using them. So take your Space Wolf detachment with Astra Militarum and a Knight. Take your Space Wolf detachment with Grey Knights and Astra Militarum. Or take Space Wolves, Grey Knights, and a Knight. Mix it up. Do those kind of things. You're still getting what it is that you want.
And you know what I like?
Meet, but you're not following down the same ant trail that everybody else is.
And you know what I like about what you just said, though? And because I'm a Knight player, I kind of heard this.
You own them.
He's a knight owner.
Right.
Oh,
You put them on the table, do some measurings, and fire a battle cannon every now and then. You know.
But I guess for like I guess in the 40K meta right now, Imperial Knights are I would still say pretty strong, but we also know that just because you throw a knight in your army doesn't mean you're actually gonna win. But it's certainly gonna not hurt your odds either.
If you look at the comment on line 14, all the way to the right under notes,
right here.
Yep. All there. Knights are a better soup ingredient.
Yeah. Than a main course.
Yeah. I like what they put for the custodies. Most likely bike spam makes them very vulnerable.
And chapter approved. Yeah. So they put the notes off on the side because they work for the whole year. But knights are very strong in a meta, but they're called the gatekeepers or whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah. You're going to go through and you're going to hurt Johnny's feelings, but as soon as you run into, everybody knows the 3 different types of players, right? The Johnnies, the Timmies, and the Spikes.
What?
No, you got to tell us this one.
Yeah, explain that.
Johnny sits in his basement and builds up his army list and goes out and does the best he can with what he loves. He likes winning, but it's not really his thing, right?
Who's that? Which one's that?
Johnny.
Johnny.
That's what Johnnies do. They build it up. They go out to the big events just to say, I'm at Adepticon. I'm playing in the championships. This is fun. Right? Not to say they build a competitive list, but they build what they want. Whereas Timmy's build competitive lists, i.e. straight Imperial Knights, because that's what they like, but they want to be competitive, so they kind of get a little edgy with it. You know what I mean? So they don't put the close combat knight in there. They don't put the Valiant in there with the short range. They put the Dominus class Castellan and a Gallant and 2 other ones and as many small knights as they can. They try and make it as competitive as possible with that mindset in there. Yes, I like knights, but I also like stomping people. Right? So those are your Timmings.
Gotcha.
Spikes are the ones that are hyper competitive. They know their rules and they take the best possible list that's there.
So you would blame those guys on being the meta guys, the mindless meta guys.
The Spikes are the meta guys.
Gotcha.
They're the ones that are typically very good players and they play with the best lists, which is fine. Go ahead. But I tend to fall in the middle. If it's Magic, I'm a Spike all the way. What's the best list? What's winning the most? That's what I'm playing with. Period. That's the way I always was. Now I fell into the Timmy category. I really like Tyranids. That's what I'm going to play with. And then I know if you go back to your left, Pat. Keep going. Right now, Tyranids would be number 2. Right? But if you read in the notes, this was when you could take 7 Flyrants and 4 Molochs.
Yeah.
I think next year the list will change. I think it'll change up a good amount next year when they do this again.
I'm curious. I'm going to keep this. And at the end of the next season, I want to look and see where everything fell. But so right now I play with Tyranids, which are a tier 2. They're not tier 1 because the other one's gone. And they're a good army, and I can beat some of the better players with it. Can I beat the best player playing with the most dominant list? No.
Okay.
Or typically no, right? But I'm not building it for that. If I make it to that table, then guess what? I'm doing very well, and I have a chance of winning and placing very high in the event.
Yeah.
So now what advantages that I have? I guarantee you I know my army better than my opponent does.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before, and your point on that is excellent because you've often said the guy that knows his army, infinitely better than the guy that is playing the new hotness or the new meta army. Right. That guy's going to lose.
And here's the other point I'll go into because I know the time is heading that direction. So what I'm doing is I have Tyranids, and I've got a lot of Death Guard that I don't like. It's not my style. Don't care for them. So those I'm going to sell off, and then
buy them.
Say again.
I'll buy them.
Okay. I have some that are very well painted as well.
Awesome. We'll have words off.
One second. We'll take this break brought to you by
Oh, nice.
So I've got, not all of them are painted to that level, but that one's done. There's this guy.
Nice.
Oh, Demon Prince.
There's
Sweet.
be on the block, and I'll put them up. And I'll send the pictures to you first.
Awesome.
So we're going to get rid of those and invest in. Let's drop down to number 10.
Tau.
Wow.
Oh,
That is the that's the other list that I'm going to create.
it's like the green piece of space.
That's correct. But
But they shoot.
that's correct. So
What,
if I want to go
mothballs?
assault somebody, run across the table and charge them and play with them and do that and have light shooting, I can't. So
They're not as good in knights, are they?
do what?
They're not as good in knights, are they?
As good as knights? Who, Tyranids or Tau?
No, they're just not
They're not as good as in
not as good as 7th, I don't think. Well, that's what all my Tau friends tell me.
Well, Tau, and here's the where the opinion thing comes in again. Because my friends are like, oh no, they're not that good. They're not that good. Well, they have 98 top 20 finishes. They have a 119 and they're 2 above the normal. So they are 8 points from being the top army in tier 2.
Oh wow.
After all of that. So I think if that's played by a good general that goes into it and plays into the mission, it has the answers. But here's back to the other one of why, if you're not playing Imperial, you're playing Xenos, which is more of me. Chaos, you have a lot of different choices too. But Xenos, play 2 armies. Play one that's heavy shooty, play the other one that's assault and psychic oriented.
But Gary, Tau doesn't have assault.
That's why I play Tyranids too.
Well, I guess to kind of put a little brevity back in this thing is
real quickly.
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Real quickly, because I see a lot of Taus out there. I see no Kroot in the list whatsoever. None. Go look them up. All the ones in the events have no Kroot in them. Oh, well, they're terrible. So Tau Sept, which is a special ability you can take with Tau that says if you are within 6 inches of another unit in your army and it gets assaulted, you can overwatch with that unit like it's being assaulted. Right?
That's a generic rule, but Kroot don't have that ability to do it unless you take this special set. All right.
Good Lord. I know Kroot don't have that ability. I don't want to overwatch with Kroot anyway because they're terrible. They're 5 points a model. But if I put 20 of them in front of it's called for the greater good, and I put them in front of my army, and I make sure that unit of 20 Kroot, every one of those models is within 6 inches of every unit in my army besides the Kroot one, guess what you have to charge to get to me?
The screen?
The Kroot. And guess what I'm going to shoot you with in Overwatch? The
Riptide, everything else.
My entire army. Hitting on 5s and 6s because I'll take Tau Sept.
No, I tend to like the one that gives you 6 extra inches to range on heavy and rapid fire weapons, but that's just me.
Right, but that's on that one. So, but there's a lot of other things that go in there that people, because they're not played that much, the top players don't grab them and pick them apart to make them better. They grab quite honestly, the books are the easiest ones. So to open up and go, oh, this is awesome. I'll play with this. That's easy to figure out. Why don't you challenge yourself, great players that are in the top 10, and make up your own list design and go in and try and beat somebody there?
Yeah.
Well,
I had a list where someone tries to polish a turd.
Yeah.
It's like a really crap unit.
Well, what I was going to say before is, go ahead. So sorry.
With one of those lesser ones and have them perform their role. Like, I don't want to get charged by Blood Angel captains. I don't want to get charged by Sanguinary Guard. I don't want to get charged by Death Company. And if I'm playing against Space Wolves, I don't want to get hit by no Thunderwolf Cavalry or any of those clowns.
Or Wolfen.
Right. But and you don't have to take any of those.
Or Wolf Guard with jump packs or Wolf Guard in general. So
here's another prime example that I didn't know if I had went through it. There's options and everything. You don't have to play the meta to win. Oh, yeah, you do. Look, the meta's winning. No, those players are winning. Those players are winning. If you consistently take the same list that a player that is better than you takes, you're going to lose. Every time.
Yeah.
If you play that level, yep, you stomped your first 3 opponents. Good job. You beat up on all the Johnnies. Nice work. then you're going to run into the spikes and they're going to destroy you.
But part of that goes back to the fundamentals, where that spike probably knows his army inside and out.
Right. And
Right.
where if you're a Timmy, which you really like these, but you want to win, so you take the army that you don't necessarily like, you're not going to know it as well. And the spiker knows it's going to destroy you. That's just the way that it is.
Sure.
So there's one other thing that I learned, this little thing that goes out, as I was studying through the Tau ones. I'm like, this is really good. This is really good. Then I noticed they were taking a Supreme Command attachment, which is just HQs, and they were taking what is widely known as the crappiest Tau set choice in the book. And I'm like, why in the world are they taking this?
Right.
And I'll tell you what it is as soon as I find it in this stupid thing. I'm not going to go page to page either.
Cadre Fireblades?
I will agree with me. What'd you say there?
Definitely not Cadre Fireblades.
No, that's a unit. That's a dude. I'm talking about the Sept T-Nets. So they're taking the Saki Sept. I know it sounds good because of drinking.
Oh.
So add one to the leadership characteristics of models with this T-Net. In addition, in the shooting phase, you can re-roll a single failed hit roll when a unit with this T-Net shoots. So what? That's not very good. So I'm like, why are they taking a detachment with nothing to do with
Riptides?
No, nothing to do with Riptides. So they have the things in the game called stratagems, right?
Yeah, where you spend
You got
command
one
points to
that
do
is
stuff.
The specific T-Nets, right?
Yeah.
2 command points. So, and do you guys know what a marker light is besides Sean?
Yeah.
What's
So
a marker light, Pat?
Uh-oh.
For you're talking about for 40K.
Yes.
You're talking about the is it? No, I'm thinking of the thing that the Dragoons have in. No, I'm thinking of something that the sorry about that.
A marker light is something that is specific just to Tau. So if you get a marker light on a unit, usually it's shot from a gun. Hold back your surprise. That's called a marker light. And you hit, you get to put a token or a marker light on that unit. So if you have one marker light on a unit, your entire army re-rolls ones to hit when it shoots that unit.
Okay.
As long as there's one marker light on it and you shoot at it, you re-roll ones to hit. And typically you have to shoot those to get them on different units.
Are those on the drones, right?
Well,
drones. You get them anywhere.
I guess I didn't know what a marker light was, but I only knew that term because I played a Tau.
Right.
I got the ever-loving crap beat out of me, but I think I remember those things being on the drones.
Right, they have marker lights.
Back in that edition, they were, yes.
Okay.
So
all right.
For 2 command points, there's a stratagem that's specific to just that Sakai set, whatever it's called. So for 2 command points, it's called Orbital Marker Distribution Uplink. Orbital Marker Distribution Uplink. Use a stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit visible to a Sakai Sept character, which is that Supreme Command attachment. They're all 3 characters. And they're all 3 that Sept. Sakai Sept character from your army. That unit and all other enemy units within 6 inches gain a marker light counter.
Okay.
So do you get so if you let that sink in for a second, most bubbles in 40K from characters are 6 inches. So you have to have your units within 6 inches of said character to get the benefit. Right?
Yep.
So if any one of those 3 models can see that character, I get to marker light that character and everything within 6 inches of it. So essentially, you could get anywhere from 1 to 10 units that my entire army is rerolling ones to hit against. And I have done nothing yet in the shooting phase. We use 2 command points. And when you stack marker lights, they get better bonuses. If you get 5 marker lights on a unit, now I'm hitting on 3s. I'm re-rolling 1s. You don't get cover from my shots. And in case people hadn't noticed, Tau shoot quite a bit.
Oh yeah, well they got pretty damn good shooting from.
So that's one of the things that I was talking about. That a lot of people wouldn't have done that. So, but anyway, there's things that you can go through, especially now with Chapter Approved coming out and all of that. Go back to the army that you actually really like. If you're playing something that you don't really like or is not your favorite, and see what you can build out of it. If you're playing Xenos, pick two. You're going to spend the same amount of money if you're playing Imperial because you're going to have to buy Astra Militarum and whatever thing else you want to plug in with them.
Orcs. I think orcs are going to be much better.
Or orcs. Yep. Orcs are on their way up, but that book's just out and they haven't performed a lot. And that's another reason why to do Tau. Because what do orcs and Tyranids hate to play against?
Shooting.
Ow. Are you going to charge me? I killed 30 boys. Okay. Your turn still. You still got to kill the crew. So anyway, that's what I had. Don't be scared when you go to a large event and think that you have to take a meta list.
Yeah, and I think the other
winning because you've got all the drones following the drone commanders,
and
the drone is the one winning those lists, and the other people are not.
Now to back
fourth, yes, because you lost to the guy who knows what he's doing.
Now I want to back up Gary's opinion on this, and it works in other games too. It'll obviously work in Age of Sigmar, but one of the more the first time I ever learned a meta was in Magic: The Gathering.
Yeah, and I think to kind of wrap that point up is that meta or not, you got to remember, just like in Age of Sigmar, 40K uses dice, which can really stab you in the back sometimes. So it's not necessarily to say that dice's fault when you lose, but they can certainly contribute to a loss. And,
no, it's dice's fault if they roll too many ones.
And I got to give Pat credit here.
And I would also argue that 40K, since that's what we're talking about right now, has a pretty diverse meta, right? I mean, that's what we're saying here. So you don't need to focus in on one. Well, like you don't need to just play Astra Militarium or Tyranids, but that's not necessarily because the dice. Randomness can compensate for things in a game design, but
play what you like and become the best that you possibly can with that.
That's exactly where I was going with that. Right.
I mean, Pat is so anti-meta in 40K, he doesn't even play.
Wow. Oh my God. This is the ultimate anti-man. Can you feel the pain all the way over there in the UK, Al? Can you just getting the shit kicked out of me? Can you?
My feet don't even hurt yet, so there's more kicks coming.
He's got his Taekwondo shoes on today.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say ballet, but yeah. So
there's a rumor engine somewhere.
There is, man. We got a rumor engine, and this one looks kind of 40K cornish, maybe. I don't know. And this is a very blurry picture. This actually came right off of their site. So Al, what is this, man? What do you think?
That looks like my ex.
There you go.
Yeah,
Gary, what do you think?
I don't know. It looks it's going to be chaos, isn't it? Looking at the armor plating and the trim.
Yeah, you can kind of see this.
I'm probably thinking more corn.
Yeah.
I have heard rumors that there's new obliterators on the horizon.
That would be cool.
And a new Abaddon figure, which, let's face it, he needs updating because that figure's just pants.
Yeah.
So it could be the new obliterators. However, it could be the new what there's obliterators and then there's the close combat ones, isn't there?
Yeah, the mutilators.
It could be the new mutilators. Because let's face it, those models are dated, heavily dated. So my sources tend to be good, and Abaddon and new obliterators. So it could be one of those, but it does look. This definitely chaos, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you're probably closer to the source, man. You're over there in the motherland, so you probably got the close input, the close intel. So.
The communication over here is still done via Raven. We send a Raven to rather than emails.
Two countries share that in common. We do the same thing.
Yeah.
Raven and messes bottles around his joint. So
that's it. Gary, what is that, man?
I'm going to say that it's some form of new corn model similar to the Slaughter Brute, and that's one of his appendages.
Sean, what do you got?
Well, I don't think it's going to be anything coming in that box set of Korn and Slanesh.
Yeah.
But I do believe it is something chaos. I'm thinking it might be maybe a new model for Kill Team, like their own special, like something Korn or Chaos like model. Kind of like how they did like those Nurgle Beast dudes or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, something kind of like that. That might be like some like walker for kill team. That's
Yeah. We just had somebody chime in and he thinks they're noise marines.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Slash is supposed to be the next, 40K
Rick, thanks a
book.
lot. That was a good guess, bud. I think
Could be Titanicus.
Yeah.
That could be something Titanicus too for Chaos.
Yeah, because they've just released, because there was the hoo-ha with the new sprues, wasn't there?
Yeah.
You had to get a Warlord Titan just to get the weapon upgrades, and suddenly this sprue come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It could be some Chaos sprue or Chaos upgrade for Titanicus.
Well, I'm gonna follow your guys' lead on that one, man, because that's above my pay grade. Sure. But we're moving on here, guys. We got the question of the day. So, as always, today's question of the day is brought to you by GameStorm Games. They're a LAN and gaming center, card shop, and computer Xbox 360 repair center. They hold video game and Magic the Gathering tournaments as well as tabletop games of all sorts. And we generally get a few war meets in there. So you can visit them at 1243 State Street, Suite 107, Lamont, Illinois 60439, or visit them at GameStormGaming.com. So here it is, guys. Here's the question of the day. So here we go. I guess I'm going to throw this out there. Al, you're up first, man. I'm putting you right to it first. So,
okay,
which character or unit do you think is ridiculously overrated in either AOS or 40K, and why?
Imperial Knights.
Are you joining Gary and Sean and kicking my?
No, I love knights, and I'm a knight player. I'm an active knight player. And I've had many battles with just purely knights. But I think knights are, you put one of those on the table and the opponent over here, they shit themselves. Yeah. But if you know how to take out a knight, then not that scary. I mean, I played, when I went to Warhammer World, I played Mechanicum versus a Chaos Army. The Chaos Army had a knight, and we were playing Blitz.
Okay.
And every turn I killed the knight. I infiltrated some infiltrators in, shot it with pistols, used Wrath of Mars, and that took away half of its wounds, pretty much.
Yeah.
Once you get those wounds chipped down, they just disappear. So I would say just generic knights, not Dominus, generic knights.
Okay.
With a rapid fire battle cannon and chain fist. I think they are overrated. They're not as scary as what people think. I think it's just believe.
All right, that was a good one. Sean, what do you think, man? What's either AOS or 40K, character or unit?
Overrated?
Yeah. So I mean, ridiculously overrated, I guess, is the way that we pose the question.
I know it might sound a little weird because I complain about it sometimes, but if you can play around Nagash, he's overrated. If you can play the mission.
Yeah, that's actually the one I was gonna say. I 800 points. I'm gonna share crop this one with you because I'm sure Gary's got
maybe Arcan. He's like he's up there as well.
And this is how Pat gets out of answering this every week.
No, actually, I really here's the thing. I've got I have a real visceral reaction to seeing Nagash on the table. And here's the thing. I kind of have this is going to make me sound like a prick here, but I guess that's why I'm so lovable. But but the thing is that I have a real problem with playing in fantasy in Age of Sigmar. I don't know, because I played Belisarius Call in 40K, but that's besides the point. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here, I guess. But I have a real problem in Age of Sigmar playing named characters. I always feel like that I'm playing with somebody else's toy. And with Nagash, because at 800 points, this bastard's got everything from Soul Healer to Hand of Dust, and he's got the Supreme Lord of Death command ability. I'm not going to get into what all those things are, and he's got 16 wounds, and he's got a 3+ save, and he's got all these death saves and everything else that you can throw on him. You see a lot of these death players that will take Nagash, and my point is, if you can kill him, they almost don't know what to do, but they'll bubble wrap him in skeletons and kind of a little bit of what you said there, Al, as far as knights. But yeah, I would have to say that the Nagash is, I would have to say, ridiculously overrated, because if you can, what I found is that if you can kill him, if you can get him off the table, if you have the right mortal wounds, like for instance, Huskers on Thunder Tusks are easily, able to do that with their dirty snowballs and things like that. But I would just say that, yeah, Sean, I'm not trying to get out of it, damn it. I'm just trying to say that if you want to impress me as a death player, and you're going to play a named character, throw Archon the Black down, or,
I actually think he's much better for the points than what he does. He's more optimized, in my opinion.
Who? Which one? Nagash or Archon the Black?
Archon. Okay.
No, I will. That's kind of what I'm saying. You want to impress me as a death player, put that guy on the table and not Nagash. So
Nagash, you just need to lay the pressure on, don't you?
Yeah, because Alan Pajama Pants, as Gary calls him, he actually was playing a list that had Archon in there.
Okay. Yeah, I just, what I think it is, just maybe because of the last, adoration of AOS, everyone playing Nagash, and here he is again. I just, I'm kind of sick of seeing him on the table. So there's a little bit of a personal, visceral piece there. But Gary, moving on to you, man. Which character or unit do you think is ridiculously overrated in either AOS or 40K, and why?
Character, Blood Angel. I have actually two, and I'll tell you why for both, and they're equally as overrated.
Okay.
Now, after the change, the Blood Angel Smash Captain and Mephiston. Here's why.
Okay.
The Smash Captain does one thing, and that's it, and he dies. He can, if you play poorly, he can go in and pick like your best unit and destroy it. Well, if you're letting somebody get that close with one model, you're going to lose anyway. So, and if you don't, and if you do that and you screen him off, he sits over there for numerous turns doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And Mephiston, because for one reason, he's great at close combat. He's a psychic. He has a 2-up save. He has no invulnerable save.
But he's got a 5-up Film of Pain.
Right. So if you get hit with multiple damage weapons at AP3, he's dead.
And you can actually spend a power to actually get a invulnerable save. But to your first point, Gary, the Smash Captain normally will earn his points back double or triple time in time. Double or triple of what he's worth.
You're playing against somebody who lets him do that.
Yeah. So that's the first one. What's the second one?
Well, one's a Smash Captain, the other one's a Mephiston.
Oh, I see. Okay, I got you.
Now, the Smash Captain, to Sean's point, yes, if somebody lets you do that, but if and 40K is vastly rated with this, is I'm going to let you kill what I want you to kill. So if I let you kill my screen with your Smash Captain, good job. You killed a bunch of Kroot, you killed a bunch of Hormagaunts, you killed some Scouts, and then you're going to die to whatever else is there, typically.
All right.
I've seen very few games to where that guy's alive past turn 3 or 4.
Gotcha. Well,
but I've also seen in return of that, to where Deshaun's point, if you can get him in on a night or
bunch of guard tanks,
then yeah, you're in trouble. But you, as a player, should design for that being there. If you just walk out there and go, "Oh, I'm not going to have a screen. If you come and touch my tanks, you win," you're going to lose.
Gotcha. That's interesting. All right, good stuff, man. So we got some tournaments coming up too. So we got November 16th through the 18th. We got Renegade Open, and January 25th through the 27th. We got Polar Vortex. We've got February 7th through the 10th. We got LodgeCon, and March 27th through the 31st. We got Adepticon. What is Adepticon? Is it the second or third largest tournament here in the States?
Second.
Anybody know?
Second.
Okay, second. Okay.
LVO's the first, right?
LVO's the first. LVO's got 900 people in its 40K championship.
Gotcha. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure where it stacked up. Al, what do we got going on in the UK, man? Any tournaments coming up?
I don't tend to do the tournaments. I'm more of a fluffy player, aren't I? However, there is my birthday bash, which is going to be at Warhammer World in April, which I'm hoping some of you guys can come and attend, and hopefully get some footage for Grimdark Live. So
that would be awesome.
At the end of April 27th to 28th.
So is your wife going to hate us if like, 6 of us show up and we're all sleeping on the living room floor?
No. No.
What if we
She'll-
snore
she'll-
really, really loud?
There you go.
No,
Okay.
she'll be louder.
There you go.
I don't know. I would love to put see who would be louder, her or Randy.
That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. But well, here we are, man. This was a good show, man. This was fun, even though I got the shit kicked out of me again for another show. But here,
You need to get those knights on the table.
Play the game.
Play a game.
you know what? I got you. You know, I'm gonna do it.
Hey, me and Gary are
I'm
one
getting
above
the
you because me and Gary played at that tournament back in July.
You know what? You guys are, you guys are like my wife, man. You're just constantly.
No.
Oh my.
There's a whole lot of things I could say there, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So
I
here it
think
is.
I'll have my Reaver Titan built and painted and on a board probably before you get those on. So I'll challenge you to get yours and have a game before I paint and build my Reaver Titan.
Okay, done. All right, that I will take. All right, I'll tell you what, Al. Here's the thing: weekly updates. There you go. Starting tomorrow.
Pat,
Okay,
What?
I'll hold you to that.
January 5th.
I have got friends with the boys in blue over in America, so you don't want a taser visit.
There you go.
January 5th, which is a Saturday,
Yeah.
there's going to be a 40K tournament, which is at Grognard Games.
Okay.
I talked
right.
to Todd, and I'm going to start running them there.
All right.
I know you say that and all that, and I'm anticipating you not being there. So
Well, you know what?
I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh, all right.
No, he'll go, but he's not going to play.
I'm gonna start collecting my teeth here, and I'm getting the hell kicked out of me. But here we are. Thank God, as we come to the close of this ass-kicking show today, I'd like to ask if there's any closing thoughts from anybody here. So Al, what do you got, man? Any closing thoughts on the end of the show today?
No, it's been really good. It's been really good. I always enjoy talking on this show. You're a good bunch of guys, and it just shows that, even we've got the Atlantic between us. We've still got that bond of a common hobby between us, which is amazing. So
And that's what's
thank
amazing
you
about
to
this,
all of you for having us on board again.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Al, you're part of the Grimdark gang, man. You're one of us. So we're gonna bridge the gap, and we're gonna get over there to the UK, and we're gonna pull you over here to the States, man. And we're gonna cause all kinds of trouble, but it's gonna be fun. Let's definitely get that plan going, and let's get over there and get you over here, and we're gonna have some fun.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Gary, what do you got, man? Closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts?
Yeah.
To what Alan said, if you're listening to the show, be a part of the hobby even more so, and get to know other people that play different games as well. Because if it's on the tabletop, we're all rolling dice. We do have something in common.
There
And
you go.
you never know who you're going to meet. And life is too short to keep doors closed.
I like it. That was a good one. Sean, what do we got, man? Closing thoughts.
One thing I forgot to kind of touch on because time and whatever. Sigmar is reaching out to their player base and asking them for what they want. Hey, give us some feedback on some units. What's little OP might need some changes around or whatever, and try to get rid of those stupid Visser Raider dudes or whatever for Sigmar.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna change my closing thoughts. I'm gonna run on that one, and I'll keep this one pretty quick.
There you go. Try to avoid the subject again.
No. You know what? I kind of, they are. In one way, I like the fact that General's Handbook is coming out, and their Games Workshop is coming out with the General's Handbook again for 19, and they want feedback. And I'm not saying that we need to leave them all hanging. I want to get out there, and I've thrown some comments at them. But the first General's Handbook, when it came out, in part thanks to the feedback from the Warhammer gaming community, the Sigmar gaming community, they really written each installment since that time with the gamers' feedback, gathered feedback in mind, and from everything from the match play points, from the around the community to make sure the game is balanced as possible. And I guess what I would say to that is, I don't think you're ever going to achieve balance. I'm not going to be one of those number crybabies here that's saying that we need to go out and hire a mathematician to get actual statistics. I'm not saying we need to start doing algorithm math to kind of figure that out, but I think I would hope that they're going to take a lot of the comments from the gamers, and they're going to actually use a good piece of balance when they take a lot of things into consideration, and not so much of like an RS Means opinion board, So I guess that's my closing thought. I really hope that I think that this General's Handbook 18 is one of the better ones that they've had in the 3.5-4 years that AOS has been out. But I just hope that they don't kind of take a dip with this thing. But and what I was going to say was, and so I'm not piggybacking off you there, Sean, again, and I was kind of hoping. My closing thought was, I got a chance to kind of muck about with Kill Team, and I'm kind of hoping that they come out with a version of that for AOS. Kind of like what Kings of War did with their Vanguard. And so I think that'd be the next good thing to do, and not quite what they have with Shadespire, what they had, but kind of something similar to that. But yeah, so that's kind of my closing thought, my kind of banter to kind of agree with you a little bit there on the reaching out to the community, right? I guess the best way to put it.
Yeah, you could call it that.
Yeah. So that's it.
Oh, and one more thing,
GW. That's not it. One more thing.
Just so people know, if you buy a swag bag when you purchase your Adepticon stuff in about 3 days, that's when they go on sale.
Yeah, March 18th, so yes, at 8:00. Friday, 8:00 tomorrow, right? Yeah.
No, the 18th. Today's the 15th.
Yeah. Okay.
Sunday.
Here it is.
They have. You're going to be getting a limited edition 40K model. I don't know. I want to say it's at least. I know you're going to get it if you get the VIG swag bag, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the full swag bag as well.
Okay.
Don't quote me on it.
I think it's a Primaris captain, isn't it?
Yep, another Primaris captain.
Why does it always have to be an Imperial model?
I was hoping it would be like a Tau, like, I don't know, Farsight Marksman, or something that's not really around much and old and outdated.
If they're gonna do that, make it count. Bring Lehman Russ back and give that away.
Yeah, that would be
your fan base would go bananas.
Ooh. As a final thought, who do you think is going to be the next Primarch to return?
It's like a whole nother show.
We could do a quick question. I'm gonna go with next Primarch to come back. It's gonna be obviously a Chaos one. It'll be
they already have
that'll be 3-1 then, won't it? Because you'll have 3 Chaos to 1 Imperial.
That's fine.
I agree with you.
Although I hate Girly Man, but whatever. It's gonna be probably Angron or what's the Emperor's chosen guy? The Slanesh guy. Fulgrim, yeah. It'll be him. One of those two.
I think Angron, with all the new corn stuff coming out.
All right. Good deal. Well, that's it, man. That's another great show. And I guess Sean, Gary, and I and Al would like to thank all of our listeners for another great show, and we look forward to having all you guys back next time. We discuss all things related to Dice, Dragons, Demons, and Dwarves in the 40K and AOS world. So please don't forget to join us the week after next Thursday. We got Thanksgiving going on here, so we're going to be
stuffing our face.
We're going to be gobbling till we're wobbling, man. And here's something I want to say to everyone out there, from Grimdark Live in this holiday. Now, let me ask you a question, Al. You've got your family over here in the States. Do you guys do anything for Thanksgiving over there?
We don't for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
No, but I know they're quite hot on it over in Colorado.
Yeah.
But we're meaning to go over there and spend more time. In the coming years, but that's one thing on our bucket list to do is to spend Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and then go Black Friday shopping, right?
Oh yeah, that's send the police officer into the fray. There you go. That's a good one.
Well, we got taken to the mecca of shopping when we went over to this place called Walmart. And I couldn't believe that on one aisle you could buy like packets of crisps or chips, as you guys call them,
right?
And then in the next aisle you could buy firearms, and then the next aisle you could buy car parts.
Oh yeah,
and the next aisle you could buy butt plugs.
And it was amazing. At some of them that are 24 hours at about 3 a.m. You can buy yourself, a prostitute, and then go right across and get penicillin. I mean, you got it all there.
some of the creatures you see in there are probably things that are found in the Blackstone Fortress.
Wow.
So yeah, that's totally another
Website
episode.
called peopleofwalmart.com.
Peopleofwalmart.com.
Oh yeah.
If you want a reason never to come over here again, go there and look at that. So.
I loved it. It was entertaining. There's one woman who was so big.
Next
her bum
time
looked
Al
like
is
two
here in
pigs
the
having a fight in a sack. It was amazing.
Next time Al's in the States, I'm following him around with a camera, walking around. I'm not going to say anything. I just want to get that on camera. That would just
get
be
one of those head cams. Like get a
GoPro.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. So yeah, so we're not going to be around next Thursday, guys. We're going to be, but here's a message from Grimdark Live to everyone out there that's going to be celebrating Thanksgiving. Remember, it's always better to stuff the turkey and not choke the chicken. So really get out there and just have a great one with the family. So we're going to see you the week after that at 7:30 normal time. So until we meet again, remember, don't be a short pants. Let's all embrace the message here from Grimdark Live, and that's a social contract between gamers and the commitment we have to this community. We're only as good as our last game. And as always, please don't forget to give our channel and forgive us for especially for I forgive these guys for kicking my ass, but don't forget to give our channel a like or subscribe if you haven't already done so. And so with that, finally, may the dice gods bless you and your sweaty palms. Bye.
Grimdark Live would like to thank you for slumming it through another show with us for all things dice, dragons, demons, and a dwarf in the Age of Sigmar worlds. We'll be back live next Thursday, so until then, remember, roll them dice fun and fair, and don't be a frickin' short pants. And if you missed the live show, you can catch us again right here on the next Grimdark Live podcast. Never fear, gang. There'll be more great content from Grimdark Live throughout the week with Monster Mondays, Table War Tuesdays, Warhammer Wednesdays, Grimdark Grudge matches, and a ton more. So stay tuned and stay grim, all you dice chucking glue sniffing gamer goons. You're all awesome.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Remember, embrace the main message here from Grimdark Live, and that's a social contract we have between gamers and the commitment we have to each other and this community. We're only as good as our last game. Check us out at grimdarklive.com. Don't forget to give our channel a like or subscribe if you haven't already done so. So long, Grimdark Goons. Until next time, may the dice gods bless you and your sweaty palms. Bye.
Hey, who you calling a short pants?